What's good, everybody? It's your boy Matthew Maley for MatthewMaley.com, and I'm coming to you today with a very somber video. It's actually Monday night. I wasn't able to make this video last night. It was a little too rough, if you will. So I couldn't do this video, but as you can tell by the jersey and all that, I actually was gonna wear one of my Ravens jerseys, but I'm still in mourning. God. But anyway, wanted to do a quick wrap-up video of Championship Sunday of the NFL and go over a couple great games. Sadly, just with results that I wasn't hoping for, if you will. Even though it's a game that I want to talk about more, and would usually do that second, I'm going to go ahead and do the games as they happened and start off with the Ravens versus the Patriots. And God, it just sucks when a team plays very well. Everybody does their jobs other than two people, you know? And to see Terrell Suggs have a really solid game, to see Bernard Pollard, dude's a beast. Like, first off, his tip that led to the Jimmy Smith interception was awesome. Ladarius Webb, another pick. Dude's been a pick machine lately. I mean, Ray Lewis had 12 tackles. Let me look at the other numbers here. Somebody else said, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Pollard had 12 tackles as well. Yeah, Pollard had 12 tackles. Lewis had 12 tackles. Suggs had 5 tackles and hit the quarterback once. Didn't get a sack, but hit the quarterback once. I think we only got like 2 sacks on him, if I'm not mistaken. Wow, we only had 1 sack. Yeah, and that was by Kruger. That's surprising. And we only hit him like 3 times total. Once is by Suggs, once was obviously by Kruger, and then once was by Haloti Ngata. Wow, I'm surprised by that. I thought we had more than that. Sorry, I'm just seeing that. It was just tough to see. And I mean, and obviously, if you watch the game, you know that there were multiple plays that the Ravens could have and should have capitalized on. It shouldn't have come down to that. But at the end of the day, you're playing to get to the Super Bowl. First off, let's talk about, well, first off, we'll do a quick recap of the game. Got to give a big shout out to Joe Flacco. Everybody, literally everybody was talking about how Flacco, you know, this was his game to lose. He was going to lose it. He can't keep up with what the defense does. Sorry, I'm changing the camera a little bit there. And sure enough, he outplayed Tom Brady. Like, no question outplayed Tom Brady. He ended up with 306 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, which is actually a great pick by Brandon Spikes. He just straight whoonk and just grabbed that pass. It was very impressive. But he went 22 of 36, passer rating of 95.4. That's on the old school rating, not on the QBR. Tom Brady ended up going 22 of 36 as well, but for only 239 yards with 2 interceptions and no touchdowns. He did run one in, which you can't even call it that. He stood up and put the ball over the line, but ended up with a passer rating of 57.5. Pretty surprising. But the defense for the Ravens was solid, honestly, but 2 big things is going up to that point, they were the number 1 team in the league when it came to red zone defense, and they gave up 2 touchdowns in the red zone, one to Lawfern, Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, and then the other one to Brady, which really hurt. Plus, Ray Rice really never got much of a game going. He only ended up with 21 carries for 67 yards. His long was 12 yards. In fact, Flacco had a longer run than Ray Rice did. I will give a shout out to Ricky Williams. He came in and had a couple good solid runs that they really needed. Big shout out to Anquan Bolden. He ended up getting 6 catches for 101 yards. Again, Torrey Smith got 3 catches, 82 yards, and a touchdown. Dennis Pitta got a touchdown as well, which was pretty solid. But then we go to Lee Evans. Yeah. First off, if anybody knows me, personally, or my fantasy football teams, you know how much I hate Lee Evans. I even mentioned it last week. I hate Lee Evans. Lee Evans has murdered me in fantasies. Always has. The weeks that I start him, he puts up a goose egg. The weeks that I put him on my bench, he puts up 1 billion points. Slight exaggeration. Very slight. So I've never been a Lee Evans fan. I always want to like him because I always feel like he's got everything necessary to be a really good wide receiver. But you can never just put it all together. And then, with 22 seconds left, he has the game-winning, damn near Super Bowl clinching touchdown in his grasps. That would have made the game 27-23. And while some people are saying, shout out to not Sterling Moss. Was it Sterling Moss? No. Sterling something or other. I apologize. I don't remember his name. For coming in and knocking the ball out. I don't say that. I believe that without a doubt, Lee Evans dropped that ball. He relaxed. I really feel like if you watch the slow-mo, he catches it, and then as he gets his second foot down, you could see his arm come off like this, which allows Sterling, whatever his damn name is, to get his arm in there and knock the ball out. And, yeah, I mean, technically the guy made a great play, but it shouldn't have ever even happened. It shouldn't even come to that. In my opinion, I really just feel like he was really excited and really just felt that he won the championship game, beat the Patriots in Foxborough, and was going to celebrate. That's what I think it was. And instead of just falling to the ground, as soon as he thought he got his second foot down, boom, there it goes. And I commend him for coming out afterwards and taking blame, saying this is the best team he's ever been on, and he feels horrible for letting the team down, which he did. I mean, to be completely honest, he did. And that right there would have gotten them to the Super Bowl. But, alas, you deal with that. You think, you know what? It's okay. We're within field goal, range. We'll play for overtime. And who knows? Maybe we'll get get lucky, get the coin toss, pull a Tebow. First pass, film. Yeah. And then Billy Cundiff. Oh, Billy Cundiff. 32 yards. Very little wind. And he shanks it. Shanks it like Kareem Saeed-Nas. Shanks it like Schillinger. Oh, he shanked it. Shankopotamus. And that was it. With 11 seconds left, he shanked it. And there goes the Ravens season. A season of very hard-fought wins. A season of dominance, of defense, of pretty serviceable offense. All down the drain. On one kick of the foot. And I know, as everybody on the Ravens has said, from Ray Rice to Ray Lewis, it shouldn't have come down to that. But it should. He's a kicker. He does one job. I don't know. I don't know. I'm still just dumbfounded by it, to be quite honest. And Jay Crawford on ESPN, First Take, I follow him on Twitter, and he made a really good point, right as it happened. And I watched it in subsequent replays and saw, but I don't know why Harbaugh didn't take a timeout. And I know the thought is, maybe he would have iced his own kicker. But if you watch the replay, there's 7 seconds left on the play clock when Billy Cundiff runs out there. And it's well known kickers are very much creatures of habit. And to even be rushed that teensy-weensy little bit, maybe that's what it took. Maybe that's just he couldn't get it. I don't know. And also the hold didn't quite get the laces all the way around, but still, it was enough. It was enough that a professional kicker who had made 95.8% of kicks inside, or maybe it was 98.5, one or the other, maybe I'm dyslexic, kicks inside of, I think it was 35 yards. That's something that should have happened. And it didn't. That's really about all you could say. The scene that sums up how myself and every other person in the world who wears purple and black was watching Terrell Suggs on the sideline go, oh my God. And that was it. And that's what hurts the most is like, to me, I would be perfectly fine if Brady had this great comeback. If it went to overtime and Brady just came out and just threw it all over the defense and killed them and they scored off a touchdown and won, then fine. But at least then New England won. And I will completely contend that Baltimore lost. New England did not win this game. They might have. They might have won it in overtime, whatever. But the Baltimore Ravens lost this game. And that's what's so tough to swallow. Especially when the defense played so well. The offense played pretty damn well. Flacco played really well. Ed Reed called him out. Really worked. Everything was running so well. And I really think they could have beaten the Giants. I really think so. And I think that would have been an amazing game, to be quite honest. But thankfully, the first thing out of Ray Lewis's mouth, well, not the first thing, but was that he's not retiring. This will not be the last time we see him in a Ravens uniform, which is good. I really think this next year is going to be their year. They've got to get a run this next year because Ray is getting a little bit older. I think he's got 2, at most 3 more seasons. He doesn't. I mean, as much as Ray Lewis loves the game, I don't think he wants to be forced out. He's such an icon. That would be horrible at the end of the day. So I really don't think he wants to see that happen. So I really think that he's going to bow out gracefully, which means him and Ed Reed have 2, maybe 3 more seasons. So the window's closing for Ray to get another ring. And I really want to see Terrell get one. He deserves it. Same thing with Haloti Ngata. I mean, Ladarius Webb at this point. Everybody has been stepping up so much. Joe Flacco, Ray Rice. Really, Vontae Leach. Oh my God, that guy was pushing holes like you wouldn't believe. Pause. But it was just definitely a gut check for it to end like that. Total gut check. So I still technically won my bet because they covered. I don't know why the line was still 7.5, but it was, and I still made money, so that's cool. But I would have happily given up my $500 bet any day of the week to actually have gotten my team to win. So, sadly, that didn't happen. But it was still a good game, and I really do think this next year is going to be a good year. So then we go on to the evening game, which was a very wet, muddy, and playoff atmosphere game from San Francisco between the 49ers and the New York Giants. Almost said Jets. Yeah, they wish. And from the onset, it was a smash nose, true, in my opinion, true playoff football game. San Francisco scored first quarter. Vernon Davis, who is playing out of his mind this postseason, scored on a 73-yard pass and just perfectly tight-roped down the sideline to score. The Giants then scored a touchdown and then a kicked a field goal to go into halftime up 10-7. And it really, through the entire first half, no team really was, looking much better than the other. It was very well balanced, to be quite honest. The Giants' passing game was looking a little bit better, but it looked like it was going to be a perfect second half to come out. Hold on, there we go. My hand was getting tired, sorry. Then, starting off the third quarter, Vernon Davis got another touchdown to make it 14-10. And then, after that, well, a little bit of a problem. Kenny Williams, I think it's Kenny. Yeah, Kenny Williams, who has only ever fielded, if I'm not mistaken, 4 punts up to that point. That wasn't his job. That was Ted Ginn Jr.'s job, but Ted Ginn Jr. is injured. So after watching the ball bounce, instead of running away, which is what every single punt returner, kickoff, punt returner or kickoff returner is taught. If you aren't going to go after the ball, treat it like a hand grenade. Run away. Yell poison so nobody touches it. It's actually something that a lot of football teams do. Just get away from it. And he doesn't. And it bounces off his knee. And then the Giants went in and scored a touchdown and took the lead again. Then with the thing that really hurt the 49ers was their conversions on third down. They ended up converting like 1 out of 13 when the Giants constantly the entire day were in 3rd and 7, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 9 positions and were able to come through on a lot of them. I don't know what... God, I wish I had it up here. Oh, here we go. Third down efficiency. The Giants were 7 out of 21. The San Francisco 49ers were 1 out of 13. I mean, rushing first downs. Giants had 20 total. San Francisco only had 15. And 4 of them were from penalties. It was just, it was rough. Alex Smith kind of fell back down to the more expected Alex Smith, if you will. Only went 12 for 26 with 196 yards. Still had 2 touchdowns. I mean, still had a good passer rating of a 97.6. But we were really expecting for him to get a little bit better in terms of yardage. Eli ended up going 32 of 58. 58 dropbacks or passing attempts in that weather, which at some point was raining sheets of water for 316 with 2 touchdowns, a passer rating of 82.3. Ahmad Bradshaw had 20 carries for 74 yards. Brandon Jacobs had 5 carries for 13 yards. And I will again say, he is the biggest running back who runs like the smallest running back. I don't get it. If you're that big, come on, dude. Use your size. Look at what Rob Gronkowski's doing. He's using his size. I know different position, but still. Brandon Jacobs, come on. Frank Gore ended up with 16 carries for 74 yards. And that was really about it. It ended up fourth quarter. Akers was able to get the field goal to go into overtime. And we finally got to see the actual overtime rules go into play, considering for playoffs. Considering, in fact, the only other overtime game thus far ended on the very first play. So it's kind of cool to actually see the overtime rules. But after both teams got a possession and some great defense by San Francisco. They were just playing amazing defense. They ended up, let's see here, Navarro Bowman ended up with 14 tackles, half of a sack, hit the quarterback once. Carlos Rogers had 11 tackles. Patrick Willis had 8 tackles, a sack, 2 quarterback hits, 1 tackle for a loss. Justin Smith had 7 tackles, a sack, 4 quarterback hits. Let's see here. I was a little bit surprised by Aldon Smith. He still got a sack, but I thought he was going to do a little bit better than he did. He only had 1 tackle, which was a sack. But still, impressive. Over on the other side, Jason Pierre-Paul had 6 tackles with half a sack. Antrel Roll had 4 tackles. Deion Grant had 4 tackles. Justin Tuck had 4 tackles. Kenny Phillips had 4 tackles. Justin Tuck had 1.5 sacks. O.C. Manura had 4 tackles and a half a sack. It was very much a level across the board there with their defensive attack. So it was a great defensive struggle. And in overtime, again, the 49ers held the Giants to a great stop and to a punt. And then Mr. Williams, while trying to make a play, because, as everybody said, especially Skip Bayless, Alex Smith kind of looked like Alex Smith again. So he was trying to make a play to help Alex Smith and carried the ball a little bit too far out. And a very prying hand came in, knocked the ball away, and that was that. They were already in field goal position. They ran a few plays to get even closer, then took a knee to center it up, and Mr. Tynes knocked it through, and we have a rematch of Super Bowl that was in Arizona. Of the Giants versus Patriots. You can tell my excitement for that game. I really hope the Giants can pull it out. I think New England's going to win, to be quite honest. They're favored by 3.5 points right now. I hope that the Giants D can pull this out, but I really just have this feeling that Brady's going to come back for for what happened the last time they played. But I do think it's going to be a good game. Not as good as I think the Hard Bowl would have been. The Super Hard Bowl, if you will, but still a good game. So I'm not going to pick my winner yet. I'm going to do a little, another like pre-Super Bowl. So nothing yet. But there you go. Thank you for checking out my video, as always, of the championship week of the NFL playoffs. Sadly, it was not the result I was hoping for, but it is what it is. So as always, thank you for checking out MatthewMaley.com. I am Matthew Maley, and I really do appreciate all the views and all the feedback. So, of course, you can always check out the website, MatthewMaley.com. Check out the video blog tab. You can always check me out on YouTube. Search for Matthew Maley Poker. Got all the videos. You can subscribe, like, comment, watch it multiple times. Of course, up on Facebook, like your boy's page, search for Matthew Maley Poker on there. And as always, follow me at Matthew Maley on Twitter. Was tweeting all day yesterday for football, so it's always fun. So check me out on there. And until the next video, your boy is signing off. I'm out, y'all. Peace.